WHOBH Kyle Richards reveals reason she's not divorced yet. It's been quite some time since Bravo stars Kyle Richards and Mauricio Umansky confirmed the end of their marriage. However, the pair are still legally married, even if they aren't living that way. As rumors fly around Mauricio's dating life, Kyle admits they're still avoiding conversations about filing for divorce. Read on to see what she had to say. Kyle Richards isn't ready to fully let go of her marriage. In a recent episode of Watch What Happens Live, Kyle Richards dug into her raw emotions to give an update on her looming divorce from Mauricio Umansky. It doesn't seem as if the pair have any hope of patching up their marriage. But at the end of the day, they have children together and want to continue having a positive relationship for the sake of the family. You know, we're good friends and we get along really well. And I don't know, we just live separate lives, and it just hasn't come up yet, Kyle shared. When the time comes, we will address it. The RHOBH star and her ex feel confident divorce is the right decision for them. However, officially ending a marriage spanning over 20 years isn't exactly easy. It's hard, and it's not something either one of us feel comfortable initiating. We just kind of let it go and just really good friends. And we care about each other. And we get along. So it's like, it is what it is right now, Kyle added. Sutton Strack encouraged her RHOBH co-star to move on. As fans saw in RHOBH Season 14, Sutton Strack encouraged Kyle to finally take the plunge and file. At the end of the day, I have to do what feels right for me. And I did not feel ready to go do that, and I'll know when it's time to do that. The mother of four said of her decision not to take her co-star's advice. People don't know our relationship, and I trust him, Kyle added. And I know, for women who have been burned, they're coming from a place of, I don't want what happened to you to happen to me. Well, I appreciate it, my situations, you know. I have to live for what I'm going through and not take on all of that too. Kyle Richards sat in the plush living room of her Encino estate, sunlight streaming through the tall windows as she sipped from a delicate porcelain teacup. She had invited Dorrit Kemsley over for a rare moment of quiet conversation amidst the whirlwind of drama that perpetually surrounded the women of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Kyle adjusted the silver bracelets on her wrist as Dorrit settled into the couch opposite her, a faint smile on her perfectly contoured face. Dorrit's inquisitive eyes betrayed her curiosity, but she'd learned better than to rush Kyle into revealing her thoughts. Today, however, Dorrit could sense something was weighing heavily on her friend's mind. "You've been so quiet lately, Kyle," Dorrit said, breaking the silence. "And that's not like you. Are you all right?" Kyle sighed, placing her teacup on the glass coffee table. She leaned back, her gaze drifting to the framed family photos lining the shelves. Images of her daughters at various stages of life and her husband, Mauricio Umansky, smiling brightly, stared back at her. She hesitated for a moment before speaking. "You know," Kyle began, her voice soft but steady. "Everyone keeps asking me why I haven't filed for divorce. The tabloids are relentless, the fans have their opinions, and even some of you have." Well, hinted at it. She looked directly at Dorrit, who nodded, her expression empathetic. "The truth is, it's complicated." Dorrit tilted her head slightly. "Complicated how?" "You don't owe anyone an explanation, Kyle, but if you're ready to share, I'm here to listen." Kyle's lips curved into a faint smile, grateful for Dorrit's understanding. "It's not that I'm in denial about the issues Mauricio and I have faced. God knows there's been a lot, and much of it has played out publicly. But what people don't see is the history, the love, and the moments we've built over nearly 3 decades of marriage. Those things don't just disappear because of a rough patch." Kyle's voice grew steadier as she continued. "There's this pressure from society, from the media, even from some of my closest friends, to make a decision one way or the other. But I've realized something. Staying isn't always about weakness or fear. Sometimes it's about hope. I still have hope that Mauricio and I can find our way back to each other. Dorit's expression softened as she reached out to touch Kyle's hand. That's incredibly brave of you, Kyle. It's easy for people to judge from the outside, but only you know the intricacies of your marriage. Kyle nodded, her eyes glistening. Exactly. There's this narrative that if you're not happy 24/7, you should just walk away. But marriage isn't that simple. It's layers of joy, pain, love, and compromise. Mauricio and I have built a life together, our children, our home, our memories. Those aren't things I can just walk away from without exhausting every effort to save them. Dorit sipped her tea thoughtfully. Have you and Mauricio talked about this? In depth? Where do you both stand? Kyle's gaze dropped to her lap. We've had countless conversations. Some of them are hopeful, others are hard. But there's a mutual understanding that neither of us wants to make a rash decision. We've agreed to take things one day at a time and to seek counseling. It's not a magic fix, but it's a step. Dorit's eyes lit up. Counseling can be transformative. PK and I have done it, and it's helped us understand each other on a deeper level. Kyle's smile widened slightly. That's what I'm hoping for. I've also realized that I need to work on myself. It's easy to point fingers and say, this is his fault, but relationships are never one-sided. I have my own shortcomings, and I'm committed to addressing them. Dorit leaned back, a newfound admiration for Kyle shining in her eyes. You're stronger than you realize, Kyle. And no matter what happens, you have a support system, me, the other girls, your family. We're here for you. Kyle's voice wavered slightly as she replied, that means more than you know. I've been so afraid of being judged or misunderstood, but hearing that, it helps. The two women sat in companionable silence for a moment, the tension in the room easing. Kyle's phone buzzed on the table, interrupting the quiet. She glanced at the screen and saw a text from Mauricio. It was simple but poignant. Thinking of you. Let's talk tonight. A flicker of emotion crossed Kyle's face as she read the message. Dorit noticed and raised an eyebrow. Good news. Kyle nodded, her eyes still on the phone. I think so. It's moments like this that remind me why I'm holding on. There's still love there, Dorit. It's not perfect, but it's real. Dorit smiled warmly. Then hold on to that, Kyle. Love isn't perfect, but it's worth fighting for when it's real. Kyle exhaled deeply, a sense of clarity washing over her. She knew the road ahead wouldn't be easy, but for the first time in a long while, she felt a glimmer of hope. And in that moment, amidst the chaos of Beverly Hills, that was enough.